Namaste, everyone. Very good morning. We welcome you again to a new session of Coins and Rupees by nurturing financial literacy to children. JGI Cambridge International Early Years has taken up this series of webinars to educate the parents for the toddlers. And we are very happy that Dr. Manjit Legha, who is a writer of the book Coins and Rupees, is with us today to talk about it. I would like to speak a few words about Dr. Manjit Legha. She is a diligent, meticulous, and competent individual with 20 plus years of experience in education management, with a proven track record in leadership development, people management, franchise management, teacher empowerment, technology in education, curriculum design and redesign professional, author, and YouTuber. Isn't that amazing? She has so much immense knowledge as an educator. She also has an illustrious career as a director in the education management sector and is currently heading professional skill development in the edtech sector. But above all, she is a passionate teacher, a coach, and a storyteller who believes that every child has immense potential and parenting is a continual learning affair. Dashera just finished. She has done a story on Ravana. Beautiful story. I think all of us should revisit her YouTube page and listen to it. It was really amazing to hear her. And now over to you, Miss Manjeet, and please enlighten us about financial literacy. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alka, for the really warm introduction. I jumped to the last line, which talks about me being a very passionate teacher, an educator, and a coach. So I'm in this profession by choice. So this is my passion, this is my profession, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So much happiness and sunshine to all of you who've joined us today for this wonderful conversation around financial literacy. I'll say much joy, happiness, strength, and power to all the caretakers, to all the parents, to all the caregivers, to all the educators who are there, because you are raising young kids, the toughest job of all, the toughest. Believe me, I say this through experience as a parent and as an educator, both. It's the toughest because, it's like learning English language, right? Sometimes the word honest has an H silent. Why is it silent over here? But when we say hen, it is hen. Why don't we say N over there, right? So raising children is like that. It defies logic. You may read so many books around it, but what you learn through your experience, through your hands on experience while raising children, is what matters. That's why, as parents and as educators and as caregivers, we need to be a continuous learner. The more we learn, the more we grow as a parent and as a caregiver. So that is why I'm going to be talking about financial literacy today, sort of a taboo subject, because not many schools and especially kindergartens don't deal with it. We kind of tend to brush it under the carpet, saying that we'll do it later. Our children are too young. They're only meant for ABCs and one, two, threes, and putting them all in different combinations. Let's worry about money and money matters later. Let me give you an example of how I grew up learning about money. As far as my grandmother was concerned, the minute she would be dealing with money, she would turn her back around to me because she firmly believed that children should not even see money. Forget handle money. Money was for the adults. Children have nothing to do with money. Years later, when my father was bringing me up, so he would shut the door whenever he was doing any monetary transactions. Why? Not because he wanted to hide something, but because he felt that no, this is not an area for me to be even thinking about it or talking about it, etc., etc. And cut it down to today, today's world, when children are on the smartphone, ordering goodies on Zomato, on Swiggy, and parents saying that what to do, he ordered it, she ordered it before I could say no, before we could do anything about it. So we living in that era. So from the times when the wheel wasn't invented, when the steam engine then later came, to a smart world now. We are in the fourth industrial revolution where information is available at the click of a button. So we really need to think about, are we going to be talking about money to our children? Do we need to talk about it? Why should we talk about it? And most important, how should we talk about it? Just as we talk about the ABCs to our children, why do we teach them ABC and 1, 2, 3? So that they can express themselves, isn't it? So that they can form sentences, they can write what they feel, they can speak what they feel. Why do we teach them about, don't waste water? Because we want them to learn about sustainability, that how the planet will look like, without water, maybe 50 years from now. That's why don't waste water. Why do we talk about emotional regulation? That, all right, if you're feeling angry, that's okay, that's natural, but hitting is not. Getting angry is all right, but hurting someone is not. Getting angry is okay, but throwing a chair, breaking a chair, banging your head is not. So it's not the emotion which is wrong, it is your response to the emotion which you have to tackle. Likewise, money is not the villain, right? Money is not something which has to be hidden away in trunks and almirahs and not to be talked about. It is how you talk about money, how we introduce money to our children, which is the key. And we need to, because in today's world, it is an essential skill. Why do we see children having issues later on? I saw this with my own eyes. Children suddenly thrown into maths problems where we're talking about money at grade 2 or so. So we talk about he bought so many mangoes, she bought so many clothes, she bought so many pencils at so and so, etc. We jump into maths problems without children knowing the history, the value of money. So when we do that, then those problems remain confined to the book only. They do not translate into real life. And today, education has meaning only when applied. Not today, it always had, but we are getting more and more aware about education becomes meaningful only when applied. If you learn about a maths problem which has money, then you need to apply it in your life. And for applying it, you need to know. So, introducing money and money matters to children in age appropriate manner is very, very crucial. Hmm? So anyone who's watching us, you can keep posing your questions, keep typing them down. I will request Alka ma'am to share the questions at the end of the session if there are any, so that we can tackle them. And meanwhile, I will continue some conversation, some more conversation around money and money matters, right? So we've introduced this book called Coins and Rupees, which is authored by me after a lot of research and study. And the book has been introduced as a pilot in the JGI schools in the Kondapur branch, in the Jain Toddlers, right? So we've introduced it as a pilot over there to see how our children and our parents are, handling that and learning. Most important is learning. So why do we introduce it? Because it's very important that our children become financially prudent, financially wise. And for that, We don't have to talk to them about stock markets and who's earning how much and what is the money divide in the world. Rather, we have to talk to them about how did money come about. Money wasn't always there. History of money. We talk a little bit about the barter system, then how it changed hands to metals being exchanged, and then finally we have the paper currency. Why do we have it today, right? Then what does money do? Through this book, we're talking about uh, what does money do in terms of buying you goods and services. Why do mommy and daddy earn? Why do our guardians earn? What delayed gratification, to teach children delayed gratification. I can't have everything like that, right? So there is so much out there in the world. It's a very, very materialistic, induced world. There is so much of stimulus for impulse buying out there in the world. We have to teach them about making choices. We have to teach them about needs and wants vis-a-vis money, right? So, what are your needs and what are your wants? And needs, have to be the bigger bucket, and wants have to be the smaller bucket. So we teach them through worksheets and through exercises, through activities, right? And then we teach them delayed gratification. You want something, right? You have to work for it. You have to save for it. You have to make a choice, this or that. It cannot always be both. Let me just go and get it, right? So these are the things that we aim to teach our children, to coach our children. Also about, money doesn't buy everything. There's a beautiful chapter out there that things which money cannot buy. Very important to introduce this to our children, the value system associated with money. Money is not only about materialistic issues, money is about values as well. So, for the first time, uh, I'm talking about money is for, yes, spending, but money is also for sharing and money is for saving, right? So, we talk about that. So, we introduce children to what all money can do. It can buy a lot of things, but also there are a lot of things which money cannot buy, right? So we talk about that as well. So entirely value based, age appropriate. Those are the strategies that we are using through this workbook to talk about a very taboo subject, such as money. So while we are okay to talk about the A's and the B's and the C's, we are now okay to talk about safe and unsafe touch to our children, about good touch and bad touch, right? So why not about money as well? So money is not the villain, as I said. The villain is how our children respond to money. They just grab out and ask, I want this, I want this, I want this. So once they know how money is earned, how should it be saved, how should it be spent, how should it be shared, they will um, they will automatically become more aware of the choices, right? So Santosh Kumar is asking that at what age some parent or somebody you know projected this question, should we be introducing children to money? So, research. There is a fair amount of research which is available in the early childhood sector, in the foundation years. Foundation years are 0 to 8. All right. So, just as there is so much of research which tells us that the child is toilet trained, more or less the toilet habits are frozen by age 3 or so. That's why we start toilet training them. Likewise, financial money habits are more or less set by the age 7. So we need to introduce money to them in the kindergarten years, in the foundation years, in the early years. It's perfectly fine. But as I said, it's very important how we do it. Hope that answers your question. Happy to take on any other question that you may be having in your mind at this point of time. So let me share a few thoughts which I penned down on a PPT for the benefit of our parents, our viewers, who may like to revisit this topic and learn as they go along. Because remember what I said in the beginning of our chat, that parenting is a learning journey. You keep learning, you go back, you revisit, you go back, you revisit, you affirm, you reaffirm. Parenting is a dynamic journey. Yeah. How to handle comparison? Yes, very good question. With other kids, my daughter says that my friend has a toy and I don't have it. Absolutely fine, to face comparisons. Now with comparisons, it's number one thing, do not brush them under the carpet. Okay, now each household has certain rules, each household has a certain value system. Correct. So money, when we talk about money, it is not to bring the idea of the economic disparity in a child's mind, that your parents are earning so and so amount of money, and so you are advantage or disadvantage. That's not the way we introduce money to children at all. There's a quote which I love, which says that money matters belong to the mind and not to the heart, right? And that's how we need to introduce children to it. That money is to be thought of from here. Do I need this? Do I not need this? So when it comes to comparison, right? How does the whole journey begin? That supposing we all have working help at home, how do you treat the children of those help if they come visiting to you? The guard bhaiya's child, the maid's child. Do you talk to them? Do you ask them that, beta, how is your school going on? Do you offer them a glass of water or juice? Do you do that? Children see it, children observe it. Okay, so they get to know that the point of conversation with that child is around school, around how is your health, what are you doing in school, what sports are you playing, what game are you playing. So the focus is on those meaningful conversations, not on money. Likewise, there will always be children who are more economically advantaged, right? Now, supposing you happen to come across, your child is comparing himself or herself to a child who's much more economically advantaged, for instance. So, likewise, your child will learn how to handle himself or herself with that child. Find those points of conversation with them rather than comparing that you have $5, I have only one, right? That is one way. Let them see both sides of the spectrum. Second thing, when they ask for things, right? Teach them delayed gratification. Start with example. Whenever you're going to buy, let's say, a new refrigerator or a new piece of furniture or a new piece of, anything in the house or for your car or for your bike or whatever, talk about it. That, yes, this is a want. That's not a need. It's a want. So how mom and dad or the entire family is saving for it? We will buy it after 2 months or 3 months or whenever. Set up. So, this is what is called budgeting in Money Matters, right? So, in our workbook, also, we teach children, we give them a cart and say, you have so much money, you have 50 rupees. Now, choose what you want to buy. So depends, the child will pick up few needs. We've taught them about needs and wants. And we've also taught them that if this is the bucket, your needs should be here and only this much is to be given to wants. Because wants are bottomless. So we teach them about that. So same way, you budget it out and show it to the child that it has to be waited for. At the click of a button, mummy or daddy or grandma or grandpa cannot get a refrigerator in the house. There is no kulja sim sim, right? So yes, if so and so has so many, good for them. If you also want, let's talk about it. Let's save up for it. And let's decide when can we doing that. Also give them choices. Let them make the choices. This is after they have gone through the process of getting to know what is money, how is money earned, right? Through skilled and unskilled labor. In this book, we also talk about the value of labor. So everybody earns money through different means. Like mummy and daddy are skilled laborers, right? So they earn money maybe by working in an office. We also have bhaiya and didi who help us. That is unskilled, maybe labor, right? So they earn their money through different means. So everybody earns money through different means, honest means. And so whatever money you earn, how do you spend it? How do you save it? And how do you share it? We talk about that. Hmm? Okay, so at this point, maybe I can share my screen and just quickly talk about. Yes, right? So, this is the book about nurturing financial literacy, coins and rupees. And why is it crucial to nurture financial literacy during early years? We talked about it because money habits are pretty set by the age of 7 or 8. That's why we need to go into the dynamics, into how to introduce the ABC of money. We cannot make them jump into, Ram is earning so much, Sham is earning so much, and Anahita is spending so much. No, how? What is earning? What is good? What are goods and services? Right? How do you determine your needs and wants, etc.? Why are mom and dad earning money? Right? Etc. So it's very, very crucial that we do that. So just repeating that research tells us that money habits are pretty much set by so and so age. Our children watch us handling money all the time. We are making our online transactions, paying our bills, right? Doing online shopping. The Amazon is there. And, children today, there are so many parents who come and say that our children don't speak, but they know how to place an order online, right? They know which app to open. So they are being exposed to money in any case, right? So letting them handle money during later years without learning the basics, that can be very, very disastrous, right? Why do we tend to ignore financial literacy during early years? It's very, very commonplace amongst educators and caregivers. I would say one is our traditional belief. We are all schooled very, very traditionally that money is to be kept away from children. So it takes a little time to unschool ourselves, right? And the second biggest reason is that often we don't know how to talk about money. Like there was a time when we never knew how to talk about safe and unsafe touch to our children. Then a lot of study and research came about it. So many workshops happened, so many sessions you parents would have attended. So same now as well. Financial literacy, there's a lot of buzz around it now. That means there's so many means available to you to learn how to talk about money matters to our dear, dear children. So this is one of the reasons. We firmly believe that children are too young, and we believe that our children will automatically learn. We say no कि हाँ हाँ हो जाएगा, जब बड़ा हो जाएगा तब उसको आ जाएगा. That once they grow up, they will learn how to handle money. But nothing happens by default, right? Whatever children pick up willy-nilly is what is going to last them for a long, long time. Is handling money an essential skill in today's world? Absolutely, it is. It is as essential as children learning emotional literacy. That is, they shouldn't just be learning the ABCs and the one, two, threes, but they must learn how to put them into combinations and suit the need of the hour. That is, they are able to express what they are wanting to say, what they are needing to say. Why do we teach them to write? Not because we teachers are slave masters that they must finish writing one page. No, so that tomorrow when they're communicating, they are able to put the right words and say what they want to say. The wrong words can just change the world, right? Remember, so many wars have been fought because of poor communication, right? So that's why we learn ABCs. So, likewise, handling money is also a very critical skill. If we don't teach them now, later years, children have an issue. Why can't I have this? Why can't I have that? Why is that one getting so much pocket money? Why am I not getting this? Right? These are the questions. Let them learn for themselves and introduce it very, very naturally to them. Just as we introduce ABC, so also we must talk about coins and rupees in a very matter of fact manner. There is nothing ho about it or there's nothing high about it. It is just very, very natural. Okay. So in this book, which is Coins and Rupees, what aspects of financial literacy are we talking about? Hmm? I discussed some of this, but I have also put it into this sheet for ready reference, that we talk about history of money, where does money come from, what are goods and services, why do parents earn money, understanding the cost of goods and services, needs and wants, making choices, right? Keeping money safe, things that money cannot buy. I love this. We have to introduce them through a value based system. A little bit about digital money, not too much at this age. Then there is a wonderful story about green money, right? Those of you who are at the Kondapur branch, they would have seen that. And the others, we will bring it to you very soon. And then I love to round it up by saying that the world can be a much better place with a lot of love and a little bit of money, right? So we need more of love. And yes, we do need money also. We cannot survive without it. But how do we earn money? How do we save money? And how do we share our money? And this is a favorite quote of mine, that a wise person should have money in their head, but not in their heart, right? So if we start introducing money cognitively, we see the results. We see children accepting that money is as natural as trying to keep ourselves safe while going on the road. है ना? Why do we teach them about traffic lights? So same way there is a red light and a yellow light as far as money is also concerned. What to spend on, how to spend on, what to share, how to save. Okay. So Alka ma'am, I have been talking about it for half an hour. Yeah, if the child is exposed, there's a question to better well-off peers. How do we ensure? Alka ma'am, can you repeat this question? I'll just take it. I couldn't read the complete question, please.
I will do it right away, ma'am. Just give me one. Yeah. So the question is, if the child is exposed to better, well-off peers, how do we ensure that the child doesn't feel insecure or inferior?
Absolutely. I answered this question and the previous one as well. The previous question was also more or less along the same line, that if so and so has five dolls or 10 Nintendos or 10, Xbox games and all that stuff, and your child has only one or two and he's wanting more. First of all, it is very natural, right? I'm sitting here in Delhi, but I also wish I was in Hyderabad, right? But if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. So acknowledge that it is very natural for all of us to be wishing. As long as we are alive, we will always keep wishing. Don't you, as a parent, also keep wishing? I wish my child read more. I wish my child, spent more time reading stories, etc., etc. All right. So it is very natural. Number two, again, when you introduce it to them, talking about the value of money, as I said, skilled and unskilled labor, how everybody works towards earning money. So there are a good exercises and worksheets on who earns what. Like a drone pilot, how does he earn money? How does a gardener earn money? How does a painter earn money? How does a computer analyst earn money? These are all real jobs which exist in the world, right? So we all earn money through different skills, number one. Number two, we teach children about delayed gratification. That is about needs and wants. All right. So we need to be very, very mindful about it. Number three, that children don't feel that, oh, so and so has a bigger house or a bigger car, right? So that is more in your mind than in your child's mind, honestly speaking. As I said, the minute your maid's child walks in or you come across the guard bhaiya's child, on the way, do you stop and say hello and ask them about how was this school? Hmm? Likewise, anyone who's more affluent than you, do they stop by and ask your child, how are they? What is happening? What game are you playing? Right? How is school? What new did you learn? These are the conversations which teach children what kind of engagement to have with other kids, what kind of conversations to have with other kids. Now, that thought about money is only in your mind. But if you bring about these conversations, children are going to be inclined to be less worried about the economic disparity, about anyone having more or less, right? We've just crossed Navratri, where we make all children sit on the floor and eat, isn't it? So the same is the case while dealing with money and all. Don't bring that question of who has more, who has less. If children say, just say that, oh, yes, very good. So and so has so many dolls. Oh, very good, right? So and so goes on a fancy red color car to the school. Just acknowledge it. Don't negate it. Don't tell your child, no, no, don't see that. No, they will see it, right? Say, okay, very good. Let's talk about what you have. Let's talk about your needs and wants, right? And then introduce them to it in a very natural way. So, talk about it in a very natural way. No hush hush about it. Please remember, if there are people who are more affluent, in terms of money, then there are also those who are not so affluent as you in terms of money. So if you develop a perspective of looking at both sides of the coin, your children will also develop that. So through this book also, remember I talked about one chapter which says that things which money cannot buy. How many times do we talk about that to our children? We should be talking about it to our children.
There is another question, ma'am. Um, how do you understand that a kid is aware of handling money if the kid is not fussy about anything?
So about handling money. So there are several practices, you can start off with. First of all is like, when you make a shopping list at home, good idea to put the child over there, right? Then when we talk about things which money can buy, through this book we're talking about what does money buy? Namely two things for children of this age group. It is goods and services. Goods meaning a packet of chips, packet of biscuit, right? Or some ice cream or candy. Services like the gardener, right? Giving his services, right? You can buy that, right? You have to pay people for their services, right? Or even like a teacher coming to school. So that's a service, that's not a good. So you teach about that to the children. All right. So you teach about cost of goods and services. Third thing again, good for us to be mindful about regular things. You're going on your walk and just come across a tea stall. Ask the child, how much do you think a cup of tea costs? All children would know about how much does a Maggie cost or how much does a packet of biscuits or their favorite chocolate cost. But the basic needs like a cup of tea, right? Or a bottle of water. how much that costs, right? So if your child is aware of these things, then he or she is on the right track. Next one, again, when we do this exercise of needs and wants, when you ask them, okay, you make this out of this shopping list, what do you think we should buy first? Then check, are they putting the wants on top and the needs at bottom? Remember, so many of you are MBA qualified. We do, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So, first of all, the needs have to be on top. If the child is putting the needs on top, then you know very well all is well. If not, then you need to go back and start talking about needs and wants to your child. So, if your child is doing this, then you don't need to worry about it. Okay.
Ma'am, another question. Do you think we should give pocket money to children? And at what age should it start?
Yeah, so this is a very tricky question about pocket money, and it has been there since generations, right? As I remember as a child fighting for pocket money with my parent, right? But now times have changed. There is so much of exposure, in the sense there is so much of information all around, right? Children see those big hoardings, even if some of us are very, very particular about not giving a smartphone to a child, right? But children see so much of stimulus all around them. So rest assured that your children are seeing a lot of things. Number one. Now, number two, your children will be exposed to money whether you wish it or you don't wish it, because that's a way of life, isn't it? You go and pay the school fee, isn't it? At some point of time, you might be talking of it at home. So your child is exposed to money in any case. All right. So if you ask me personally, should we give pocket money to the child? I feel we can term it as an allowance. Now, what do I mean by allowance? Do not reward your child for the household chores that they do. That if you make your bed, you will get 5 rupees. If you keep your room clean, you will get, 10 rupees. That's not a good way to teach money matters to a child. No, those are life skills. Making your own bed is a life skill. If the child doesn't know this, then he or she will be floundering in later years. Okay, they will not be self sufficient. Right? But if you say that, okay, mom and dad earn so much and they are happy to share a part of what they earn with you as an allowance, then it's the right way to take it. Okay. Then you may start with something like a 10 rupees or a 20 rupees and allow the child to budget, to make a list of the needs and wants. Look at the learning which is happening if you give the child an allowance like that. But if you just give them and they just go and next minute it is spent, the first thing that they come across, they buy it. Why? Because we're not educating them about it. है ना? So delayed gratification. Beta, save your money. Think what do you want to do with it. That is the whole aim of giving them the pocket money. You see, their needs you're already taking care of. The food, shelter, clothing, you're already taking care of that. Then why do you need to give them money? So that, yeah, they feel good about it, that I have the power to choose what I want. This good, this service, this thing. So it gives them a sense of power, deja vu, that yes, I can. And when they make a very conscious choice, when you help them to make a conscious decision, then they start realizing the power of money and also the power of earning money. Okay. So those are my thoughts on pocket money. So the money is
Thank
not
you
the
so
devil.
much.
You know, Alka.
Yeah.
Again, dear parents, money is not the devil. It is how you spend it, how you save it, how you share it. The devilry is all over there. As I said, some children will, the minute they get their hands on money, they'll run out and buy whatever they want to. Again, because we haven't made them go through that exercise of knowing the needs and wants. We should. Absolutely, we should.
Thank you so much. Actually, I think it must be an eye opener for the parents of today. I hope our parents who are attending right now, it's a different outlook towards looking at money. Generally, we are all, we hide our money. Even as adults, we do that, consciously we do that, because I think we are designed that way. And as you
Yes.
said, if you do the needs and wants separately, and then the child has the money, he knows how to use the money. That's very important in today's world, I also feel. So thank you for that beautiful talk. It was actually thought provoking, and it was really it has a different perspective actually to look at money. And I think parents will realize it, and they will make the children independent, and let them use the money. And as you very well said, pocket money, we used to wait for the pocket money, but when you say it's just an allowance and how they can use it in a good way, or in a way where they have their things in whatever they want or whatever they need, which is important. I think it also gives a child a credit also to use that money in a proper way. So yeah, thank you for this beautiful talk. And I think I learned a lot, and I'm sure the parents did learn a lot, though my children are, you know, they know much better than I do. But yes, thank you so much. It was really, really, I'm very
Thank
grateful about it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Alka. I'd like to close it by again, inviting all parents not to feel scared about talking about money to children, right?
Yes.
Remember why we always talk about making studying a loving affair for the child. Because if
Yeah.
children start hating school, start hating studies, right? What do?
Absolutely.
They bunk school later
Yes.
on once they grow up, right? They
Yes.
run away. We read about that, isn't it? So likewise, if children are not introduced to money in the right way, they will overspend. They will always be broke. They will always be taking loans. They will always spend more than they earn. These are later habits which will form, but the seeds are sown during early years, foundation years. So on this note, if you want your children to be prudent, to be wise with their money, don't worry, take the plunge. Learn about it, and just don't, you know, think two ways about it that no, I will not talk about money to my child. Please do it, but do it in an age appropriate way. Thank you so much, EI Schools. It was lovely being with you and your parents, and we hope to have many more evolved and insightful conversation with the parents. And as I said, much love to all the parents out there, because I know what a terrific and a wonderful job you guys do raising children. It requires energy, passion, love, a lot of other stuff. God bless you all, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, parents, for your valuable time. Very grateful again. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Alka.